Hare Krishna. So let us start our session with prayers to Shri Radha Govinda and our Guru Parampara. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishakan Vitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी श्री राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरूपस्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय शिल प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय गुरु परंपरा की जय नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनीति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे गुरुवे गौरचंद्राय राधिकाय तदाले कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः हरे कृष्णा Hare Krishna. So let us start our session with a quick recap of what we studied. Last session was important, where Krishna, through his slokas, gives that he is the origin of everything, right? So let us have a quick recap and then we will move further. Yes, Shivakumar Prabhu, thanks for coming forward. Who else is to see more hands raised? Yes. So let us start with Shivakumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Guru.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
So, in a previous class, we have studied Krishna told I am the origin of all demigods and rishis. Even though even demigods and rishis cannot understand me, my full opulences. And he is saying there are appliances. These understanding these appliances is important because we cannot directly see the Lord, but we can see the appliances of the Lord. Hare Krishna Guru.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Devika Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandat Pranam.
In the last session, we discussed the importance of knowing the opulences of Krishna and how important it is to progress in our bhakti. We also discussed that material senses does not appreciate qualities of Krishna. However, chanting the holy name and eating prasadam can help us cleaning the heart. We discussed the Krishna's position as the origin of everything, including the demigods. However, the hosts of the demigods are also unaware about his origin. And anyone who knows Krishna as the unborn Supreme Lord and the source of all the sages and demigods is undeluded, and that person is free from sin. We also discussed that one who knows Krishna, we also discussed that Krishna has no beginning, no end, and he himself is also free from all the sins. We discussed formula for successful relationship, the TAC formula. The T stands for tolerance, because the partners are not always chosen, especially in India. And even if they're chosen, it's all luck by chance. You never know what is going to happen. And then tolerance, A stands for tolerance. So, and the second A stands for acceptance. Tolerance, T for tolerance, A for acceptance, A for apology. So apologize when you are wrong. And the last one is C, and that's the compromise, because this is Dukhalayam Ashashvatam. So if we have to live happily, it's best to practice these 4 principles. Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Very nicely summarized. TAG formula is relevant not only in India, everywhere. And both, it could be, if we can say husband and wife, neither man is perfect nor woman is perfect. Yeah, so we need to accept that fact, and keeping Krishna in center, we need to move further. And whatever relationships we are in, one thing we need to understand is, we may think, for example, there are 2 ways of looking at, right? There is family get to come together and choose our partners, or we ourselves choose our partners. So even when we choose our partners, it is not we who are choosing, it is Krishna's will. Yeah, he is giving us intelligence. And for what? For all our prarabdha karmas. So that is also one of the reason to purify ourselves. We get into one relationship and continue. So help each other progress in Krishna consciousness. That is one of the key aspect of Grahastha Ashrama. Chanda Mataji, you want to add?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Last class, you have given one analogy that senses are compared to snake. So, if the soul is situated in the Krishna consciousness, it is the analogy fits there as well, because there the senses are not indulged in the materialistic world, but within us, and to the surrendering and seva towards Lord Krishna. So, it is the two-way. The senses which is compared to snake, it can be other way as well, because if we are not situated in Krishna consciousness, the senses which is entangled with the material world leads to misery. And if the same thing, the snake, the senses are compared as snake, but the snake is not it is not the poisonous one, because it is totally pure and surrendered to Krishna seva. And one more thing I have noted down, Anadi Adira Govinda. So that is the beginning and the end. Beyond that, nothing is there except Krishna. And what it is there also, it is all Krishna. So these 2 things. And the qualification to progress in Krishna consciousness, that is the eagerness to hear and to know about all about Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Very important points you brought in. Oral reception is the most important aspect of our Krishna consciousness and spiritual journey. Krishna enters through our ears and resides in our heart. Yeah, so oral reception is very, very important. Who else wish to add any further points? See, through this discussion, many things will come up. Yeah.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please go ahead.
You had last time you had asked a question about whether it was like Lord Krishna was boasting about his glories. and what was our impression, what was our understanding.
Yeah.
And the point seems to be that unless he tells us, and he is establishing in the Gita the whole line of disciplic succession that had broken. That is why he was telling his faithful friend Arjuna, and through him to all of us, that these are my glories, this is my nature, and you have to worship to me. You don't need to go anywhere else. I am your Lord and Master, I am your Father, I am everything. So come to me, don't go anywhere else. I will take you further back to your logical nature.
Yeah.
So that was it. It was not boasting, it was basically familiarizing the world about his nature, which often we forget. And so we are forgetful by nature, and we are weak, we are so limited. We need to keep getting reminded of it. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for bringing up a very
And
important point, Mataji. So
Prabhuji, the
as you
same
know,
way.
let me
Sorry,
complete,
Prabhuji.
Mataji. Let me complete this point. So very important point Manushi Mataji has brought in. Why Krishna is boasting? It is not boasting. We understood it is mercy, because Krishna is the beginning of everything. And great demigods, great sages are also have not understood Krishna completely. So who can come and tell us? Who can guide us? So it is only by pure causeless mercy of Krishna he is coming and giving that I am the cause of all causes. And today Chatur Shloka is very, very important, in which it is said as the essence of entire Bhagavad Gita. If you know this 4 shloka, it is like you have read the complete Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, so it is causeless mercy of Krishna is what we need to understand. Yes, Chanda Mataji, you want to add?
Yes, Prabhuji, the same thing what Manushi Mataji mentioned here. Like a father instructs or stimulate again and again if we are doing wrong or if we are deviating from our path. The father always says, you have to focus here. This is not the correct way. This is the correct path. So you have to follow this. The same way, the Krishna also, the opulence is what he has elaborated and given to us through Arjuna. It is the same thing that if we are always deviating from our path, that is the Krishna consciousness going into and knowing about all the true nature. So that is what he has given. So again and again mentioning means stimulating. Stimulation is in the sense that is the positive way, that we should not go negatively here and there. That focus should be brought into concentration. So that is what I wanted to add here.
Okay, Mataji. So we come to a point where we understood that Krishna is origin of everything. Now let us move to the Chatur Shloka. Yeah. In Chatur Shloka, why it is said as the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita, the summary of entire Bhagavad Gita, because from the entire Bhagavad Gita, 3 jnanas, 3 knowledge we are gaining. So what are the 3 jnana we have discussed before? What are the 3?
We are not this body, we are
Yeah,
spirit soul.
that is. So at larger level, one is Sambandha Jnana, right? What are the other 2?
Abhideya Jnana or
Yes.
Prayojan Jnana.
Yes. So these 3, Sambandha, the relationship, who the Supreme Lord, what is his constitutional position, what is my constitutional position, yeah, and what is the purpose of my life, is given from Sambandha Jnana, which Shloka 10.8 gives. Krishna declares that Aham Sarvasva Prabho. It says, I am the source of everything. And knowing Krishna is the source of everything, what is expected? Iti matva bhajante mam. That is, knowing Krishna is the Supreme Lord, Supreme Master, what is expected is engaging in devotional service. Krishna is the Supreme Master, I am his eternal servant, and my purpose is to do devotional service. So this is the first sloka 10.8 it gives. Second, Abhideya, right? So Machitta Madgata Prana. So this sloka talks about the symptoms of pure devotees. It is a process that talks about the pure devotion, what a pure devotee does to re-establish this relationship with the Lord. So this is 10.9. And one who is engaged in devotional service, unalloyed devotional service, what happens? The prayojana. Krishna, tesam satatam yuktanam is 10.10 and tesam evanu kampartam. So in this, as a result of our pure devotional service, Krishna gives the intelligence to the devotee who can constantly, ahituki apratiyata, constantly, consistently, without any motivations, he can continue to engage in devotional service. This intelligence is given by Krishna. And tesam evanu kampartam, that is, he destroys, one who is engaged in devotional service, Krishna destroys all the ignorance. Because of our ignorance only, we are serving Maya, not the Lord. So Krishna will remove the ignorance and help us to fix up in Krishna consciousness and go back home. Right? So this is Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Surrendering to Krishna, knowing this, we surrender to Krishna. Let us start with the first sloka. Devotees reciting sloka, please keep the hands raised. So Jyoti Mataji, you can start today.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata.
Aham sarvasya prabhu mattah sarvam pravartati iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Thank
Yeah.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Praveen K. Prabhu, you used to read translation for us.
Hare Krishna. I am the source of all spiritual and material ones. Everything emanates from me. The wise who knows the perfectly engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So here, from this shloka, we understand Krishna is the source of all spiritual and material things. Yeah, he is the source. And he is the master. He is the enjoyer of everything, not us. And the reference from Ishavasya principle. Yeah, Ishopanishad first sloka. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatan jagat tena taktvena bunjita magrida kasyasvidhanam. So in this, everything animate and inanimate belongs to Krishna. We are just a caretaker. With this knowledge, devotees can firmly fix up in devotional service, in service to the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada, through his purport, also gives us references from Narayana Upanishad, in which it says, in the beginning, it was only Supreme Lord Narayana. There was no Brahma or Shiva or no this material nature. Nothing was there. And in Maha Upanishad, it is said that even Lord Shiva is born out of forehead of the Supreme Lord. So what is important is the Krishna is the original source, and Brahma, who is come out of the navel of the Supreme Lord. He, after coming out, what he writes, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So with this, it is very clear that the source of everything is the Supreme Lord Krishna. And as a original source, knowing this, what happens? That is, once you know Krishna is the Supreme Lord, you worship Krishna with all your heart and soul and engage in devotional service and surrender. Surrender is the thing we get to know. And Krishna being the source, Krishna, we all have reasons to appear. Cause, we all have causes. Does Krishna has cause?
No, Prabhu.
Yeah, Krishna appears with his own will. Krishna appears and disappears with his own will. That is what even Gajendra Stuti, Gajendra says, Namo Namaste Akila Karanaya Nishkaranaya Adbhuta Karanaya. Yeah. So Krishna is the cause of all causes and he doesn't have any cause. He is the wonderful cause of everything, is what it is said. Krishna's Leelas, his appearance as disappearance is completely inconceivable. With our limited senses, we will not be able to understand. And how do we able to understand? Only by surrendering to the spiritual master through the bona fide sources, by the surrendering to the devotees of the Lord, and by the oral reception, by hearing attentively. Will be what happens by attentive hearing. We discussed in last class what is the benefit of attentive hearing.
It purifies the heart, Prabhuji.
Yes, so it purifies the heart. Krishna purifies the heart and fix up us in Krishna consciousness. Yeah, so this is about the Sambandha Jnana, what we learned. Now next we will look at the Abhideya. So the next shloka. Chanda Yadav Mataji, you want to recite this shloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. मच्चिता मद्दप्राणा बोधयन्त परस्परं कथयन्तश्च मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Manushi Mitra Mataji, can you please read this for us? Translation.
Yes, Prabhuji. The thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Their lives are surrendered to me, and they derive great satisfaction and bliss, enlightening one another and conversing about me. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, the symptoms of pure devotees and what they do. Yeah, it is very nicely discussed. So the devotees are always glorifying the Lord. Yeah, through this glorification, they are always remembering the Lord. Their heart and soul is constantly submerged in Krishna Katha, and they take immense pleasure in discussing about the glories of the Supreme Lord. And what they do when they meet, most of the mundane people, what they do, they talk about the material affairs, right? And do lot of prajalpa, whereas the pure devotees are always speaking about the glories of the Supreme Lord. And if they are not in that situation, one day if they are not able to attend Krishna Katha, glorify the Lord, it is for them is like taking them out of the water. The fish is out of the water. Yeah. What happens to us? We are attending any class. The moment a teacher says, today there is no class, suddenly we get some happiness. Wow, I missed. Most of them are like that. Yes, many of the devotees here are so interested to attend. I appreciate you all, but that is the general tendency of larger population. I could see Taruni Mataji's expression as soon as I said, yeah. So Taruni Mataji, you are not in that category, okay? Don't worry. Yeah, and then the symptoms of pure devotee further elaborated. Now, what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says about Bhakti Lata Beej? Who sows this bija, the Bhakti bija within our heart?
Guru
Govinda
and
Guru.
Krishna.
Yes. By the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, Krishna, we get this Bhakti Lata Beej, right? Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija, right? What it says, out of millions of living entities, only very few fortunate souls will get the opportunity to associate with the devotees of the Lord, and by taking their shelter by their mercy, they get this Bhakti Lata Beej. Yeah, we all have taken that first step. As said, we take one step, Krishna runs 500 steps towards us. We all have taken that one step joining the level 1 course sometime back. Because of that, we have got the association of devotees, and by the association of devotees, we are able to progress. Right? So this is the process. Now, this bija, how do it grows? We have discussed in our past classes. This is like a creeper which grows, breaks through the material planet, enter the spiritual planet, and attain the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. So, how do this creeper grows? Now, by the mercy of Krishna, we have this Bhakti Lata Beach. How do we further progress? What is the process recommended by our Acharya?
Yeah, association of devotees and
Shravanam Kirtanam.
Anyone?
devotees.
Too many answers. Anyone? Yeah.
By associating with devotees and rendering service to devotees, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay. What more? Watering.
Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. We have to water it with Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam, Prabhu.
Okay. Okay. We could try. Any other answers? I'm looking for one
Chanting of
specific
the
answer.
holy
What
name.
is the watering process compared to?
Watering the root of the tree, Prabhuji.
Yes, watering the root of the trees compared to what? We do many things in our devotional service. What is that specific thing?
Chanting
Most
of the
important
holy
of
name.
our
Chanting, Prabhu.
devotional.
Smaranam Acyuta.
Yes, somebody, I got the answer. One of the Mataji has said that chanting the holy names. Yeah. Prabhupada says 90% of our spiritual progress is chanting attentively, offenselessly, chanting our minimum prescribed rounds. Yeah, you can compromise all other thing, but not chanting of holy names. Whatever you have, whatever situation you are in. We have already discussed this. Never mix your material situations and spiritual progress together. Everybody are fighting their own battles. Yeah, everybody are fighting. The only fuel which will take this vehicle forward is chanting of holy name. If you compromise on that, then the entire thing will collapse. And that way, it is not going to help you in any way in your material progress as well. Whatever you want to do, you could be studying, you could be a professional, you could be doing your business. For you to progress in that, what keeps you steady is chanting of holy names. Yeah. Now, the creeper started growing. Yeah, you started watering, the creeper started growing. You have to protect this creeper, right? From all the material mayas. Otherwise, always when we put a plant, the cow or something, a goat, sheep should not come and eat off the leaves. So what you do, you fence it. So what is this fence compared to?
Sadhu Sangha.
Yes, association of devotees. It is very important. As the creepers is growing, if it has to be protected, then it is sadhu sangha. And one more important thing which I want to bring up for today's discussion. As the creepers are growing, there is also a lot of unwanted plants growing around these creepers. Right? So these unwanted, there are 6 unwanted creepers which is said. Anybody knows what are those 6 creepers, unwanted creepers, plants?
There are 6 anarthas. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsar.
Okay, so good try. What other things? There are some specific things mentioned in our scriptures. Anybody knows?
Is it Pratyahara, Prajalpa, all that, Prabhu?
Okay. Anyway, I will tell the specific things. See, these generally you are all right, but when we are in Bhakti Shastri, we need to know the specific answers. So the first is Kuttinati. Kuttinati is the duplicity. Yeah, we show to the world as if we are great devotees, but in inner there is lot of anarthas within. Yeah, most of us are struggling with this Kuttinati. Most of us are struggling with these duplicities. When you ask your family member, they know what kind of a person you are at home, right? And what you show outside. So we have to rise above this duplicity as we progress. And then Nishista Achar, that is not following the regulative principle, not following what is been prescribed by our acharyas. And the third is Jiva Himsa. The first thing what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says is Jivera Daya. We have to rise in our Jivera Daya, but we end up doing Jiva Himsa. So troubling any living entity in any way, it is not only killing. So we should avoid all those things. And then last three is very subtle. That is Mana Puja Pratishta. The hankering for the honor, for the respect and recognition. Whatever we try to do, somewhere within us, we have that hankering for recognition. We are all struggling with this. Prabhupada, as we discussed the definition for humility, not having the satisfaction of getting this recognition, right? So these are some deep, subtle, unwanted plants which will stop the growth of this creeper, the devotional creeper further. So we have to keep cutting it time to time. Only then the Bhakti Lata Beach will further grow and reach the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Now let us move to the next important sloka. Neha Jindal Mataji, you want to recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Tesham satatistanam bhajatam priti-purvakam dadami buddhi-yogam tam yena mam prayanti.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Karuna Mataji, you want to read the translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So here, one who have dedicated their life in service of the Lord, Krishna gives the intelligence, dadadi buddhi yogatam. We can see in our own life what we were before and what we are today. And when we are in any situation, yeah, Krishna from within, he is always continuously guiding us, isn't it? So through this shloka, the Buddhi Yoga is explained. What is Buddhi Yoga? We have discussed about Jnana Yoga. Jnana Yoga is acquiring the knowledge. What is Buddhi Yoga is action. Once you receive this knowledge, the action in Krishna consciousness is Buddhi Yoga. So when one tries to go back to Krishna, back to Godhead, and takes fully into Krishna consciousness in devotional service, so such actions is called Buddhi Yoga. So we discussed the different steps of yoga before the Karma Yoga. When one knows the goal is Krishna, but he is addicted, still addicted to the fruits of action. That is the stage where one is engaging in Karma Yoga and rising above. And through Jnana Yoga, we know Krishna is the ultimate goal, but still through his mental speculations, he is acting. And Buddhi Yoga is trying to rise in that unalloyed devotional service. Next shloka. Shanti Sudesh Mataji, you wish to recite?
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, 12 and 13, Prabhu.
11 Mataji, 10.11.
Okay. 10.11 is Tesham Evanukam. Okay.
Yes.
Tesham Evanukampatam Aham Ajnanajam Tama Ashayam Atma Bhavastu Jnana Dupena Bhaswata. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Santoshi Popana Mataji, you wish to read the translation for us?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. One out of compassion for them, I, dwelling in their hearts, destroy with the shining lamp of knowledge the darkness born of ignorance. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you. So Krishna, by his causeless mercy, is destroying the ignorance within the devotee's heart and help one to fix up in Krishna consciousness. At the same time, one who is not engaging in devotional service, trying to continue to do the mental speculation, such a person is always in the darkest ignorance and continues to glide down. And the pure devotee, what is the symptoms of pure devotee? With this purification of ignorance, is always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. That is the symptom of the pure devotee, and we all have to put our endeavors in rising in this level. Everything we do, we should do for the service of the Krishna. Everything we do for the pleasure of Krishna. Through that, we are always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. That is the goal of our life. So the special mercy of the Lord destroys all the impediments and dispels any ignorance in the heart with the shining lamp of knowledge. So this is about the Chatur Shloka. What we understood from this 4 Chatur Shloka, can somebody summarize? From these 4 important shloka?
Prabhuji, one is that the Lord Himself lights the lamp of knowledge in our hearts about Him by being in our hearts as Paramatma, and He, as we progress, He also gives us so much more of His mercy, much more than our effort, and thereby He removes the ignorance that we have about anything, about our origin, about the Lord, about who we should worship, where are we going. All of these questions get answered as we continue to grow in our devotion and love for the Lord, and He helps us get to that through the light of knowledge, which He is lighting thanks to His mercy. Otherwise, we are not qualified to know anything about Him with our gross material senses. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji. So the sequence, what we understood here, the 4 shlokas, that Chatur Shloka is the essence of Bhagavad Gita, yeah, in which with 10.8 we understood Krishna is the source of everything, and knowing Krishna being the source, we have to engage in devotional service. This is first lesson. Second is the Abhidaya Jnana, the process of devotional service, what one does. Knowing this knowledge is always engaged in devotional service through the Shravanam Kirtanam. Yeah, and then as a result, Krishna removes all the ignorance and gives the intelligence to surrender. Sarva dharmam parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Aham tam sarva papebhyo moksha swami mashuchaha. So with this, we will surrender to Krishna. So this is Bhagavad Gita. So one who understood this has studied the entire Bhagavad Gita. So one who understood this has successfully completed Bhakti Shastri course. So here we can stop our Bhakti Shastri course or we can continue. So what you want to do? We understood everything about Bhagavad Gita.
Continue,
Prabhuji,
Prabhu.
we
We are
need to
not so intelligent, Prabhu.
Continue.
Yeah. So why
We
you
are
want?
not so intelligent, Prabhu.
So why you want to continue?
Prabhuji, in order to strengthen our knowledge and deepen our knowledge and remove all weaknesses, because we are still very weak and very prone to material desires and temptations, we have to become much more strong. And that strength is still lacking, at least I can say personally.
Good
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna,
That is what Arjuna is also. Now Arjuna at this stage has accepted Krishna's position as the Supreme Lord. But Arjuna also is requesting, he want to hear more of his opulence. Yeah. So why to hear more of his opulence? That will help us to always constantly remember Krishna. Otherwise, we will, as you rightly said, still the bhakti creeper, it's very, very weak. it requires lot more efforts to fix up in Krishna consciousness, right? So Arjuna also knows, and not only for Arjuna, Arjuna is asking all these things for common people like us. So next six
Prabhuji, see, gaining knowledge and going into Krishna consciousness is the one thing. But apart from this, what I feel that our heart, our soul, what we call the Atma, is of Krishna. That is the true self. That is the true nature, that which we are trying to acquire, and we are progressing on this spiritual journey. But apart from this, the whole system, the whole Atma is Krishna. So as much as we know about Krishna, that much we not flourishing, but that much we feel the depth, and we will know the true self. That is what we are from part and parcel of Lord Krishna. So as much as we know about him, as much as we talk about him, the bliss we feel, the bliss we acquire, the liberation what we are acquiring at the कि हमें मिलना है, that automatically will happen once we are connected, and this journey will begin, and we don't want to stop anywhere, and nobody will stop us.
See, my realization is, more I know about Krishna, more I know I don't know anything about Krishna. Yeah, that hankering will only increase where we know more. So that is the mood of gopis. They're always in mood of separation. They did not want, they were blaming Brahma that what kind of creature they have made my eyelid. They're not even want to close the eyelid for a second. Yeah. So they are complaining Brahma about his creature. That is the mood, the separation. With that separation only we rise in our love for devotional service. Next sloka is a very nice sloka. Madhuri Manashi Mataji, you want to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. 10.12 and 13. Arjuna Uvacha Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavam Purusham Shashwatam Divyam Adi Devam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshir Naradastatha Ashito Devalo Vyasha Swayam Chaiva Prabhishime. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Shweta Mataji, you want to read the translation for us?
Arjuna said, "You are the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the Supreme Abode and Purifier, the Absolute Truth and Eternal Divine Person. You are the Primal God, Transcendental and Original, and you are the Unborn and All-Pervading Beauty. All the great sages such as Narada, Acyuta, Devala and Vyasa proclaimed this of you, and now you yourself are declaring it true."
Thank you, Mataji. So, having known the Chatur Shloka, Arjuna is completely, all his doubts has been removed, all the ignorance have been removed, and he has accepted Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and is saying Param Brahma, Param Dhama, Pavitram Paramam Bhava. So it is not what we need to understand from this particular sloka. It is not by the ecstasy of Arjuna is declaring that Krishna is everything, but here the reference is given that even the Vedic scriptures, all the great sages are also have accepted that Krishna is the Param Brahma. And further, Srila Prabhupada further gives the references from Kena Upanishad. It says the Supreme Brahman is the rest of everything. And Krishna also declares that everything is resting on him. And there is a reference from Mundaka Upanishad which confirms that the Supreme Lord, in whom everything is resting, can be realized only by those who have constantly thinking of the Supreme Lord. The constant thinking, the smaranam is, the significance of smaranam is brought in here. So that is the method of devotional service what we are trying to engage. The Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam. So every word from this shloka is so important. So true.
Prabhu,
These are the absolute truth.
I have a question here, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mata.
It's just beyond it. Everywhere, many times we across that Shri Bhagwan Uvacha, then Arjuna Uvacha. So it is the conversation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. So why it is not mentioned everywhere? Means when Arjuna is speaking and when Krishna is, why only few times it is mentioned Arjuna Uvacha and Krishna Uvacha. This is curious to know about it. So it came Arjuna Uvacha, so I asked question.
Good question, Mataji. Even I don't know. We have to check with Vedavyasa, Srila Vedavyasa, why he has written that way. But I can check this clarification now for you, Mataji. Okay. So,
Yes, Prabhu.
coming back to this shloka, as I was telling, every word is so important, starting from Param Brahma. We are all souls. Krishna is the super soul. We are all Brahman. Krishna is the Param Brahma, is the supreme truth. And Param Dhama is the ultimate abode, is the ultimate shelter. Our shelter is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Pavitram is the purest. Paramam Bhavam, the absolute truth. Purusham. So it declares that Krishna is the supreme person, is the enjoyer. Shashwatam is the eternal. Divyam, the transcendental. Adi Devam is the original Lord. Ajam, unborn. Vibhum is the greatest, nobody greater than the Supreme Lord. And accepted by all the Acharyas. Narada, great sages like Narada, Ashista, Devala, Vyasa, everybody have accepted Krishna being the Supreme Lord. And you yourself are declaring it to me, and Krishna himself is declaring. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, he is the Supreme, is the originator of everything. He himself is declaring. So I have to accept this. Neither demigod nor demons can understand your personality. So that is why Krishna is declaring himself, is what we understand from this. And then this shloka, what we are trying to understand is Arjuna, it is not the ecstasy of Arjuna, but through the parampara system, we are trying to understand where the great sages, everybody have accepted Krishna's supremacy. And the level of surrender what Arjuna is showing, we need to rise to this level of surrender. We say theoretically, Avaksharakshibe Krishna, but whatever we want to do, we have plan A, plan B, plan C. Yeah. So the one thing which we are learning from this shloka, which Arjuna is saying that not only me, all the Vedic scriptures as well as the great sages have accepted you as the supreme master, supreme proprietor, supreme enjoyer, supreme controller, and a dear friend. The shloka in reference 5.29. Bhoktaram yagnatapasam sarva loka maheshwaram suhurdam sarva bhutanam yatva mam shantim rachati. So one who understands this shloka, then there is no anxiety for them. There is no fear for them. Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rakeke is completely surrender to the supreme will. It could be difficult situation, it could be favorable situation. He is always steady for in both situation. So that is the level we have to rise. Moving further, Neha Jindal Mataji, you want to read this shloka for us?
सर्वम् एकं गतं मन्ये यन्ति मां वदसि केशव न हि ते भगवान् व्यक्तिं विदुर्देवा न दानवा.
Thank you, Mataji. Padmini Mataji, you want to read the translation, both shlokas?
Yes, Prabhuji. Oh Krishna, I totally as truth all that you have told me. Neither the gods nor demons, O Lord, know thy personality. Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O supreme person, Lord of
the
the
universe.
universe. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. So
Should I read this also, the
yeah, you
acceptance
can
of
read this also.
Arjuna?
Yeah. From the purport, the acceptance of.
Ah. The acceptance of Arjuna of all that Krishna say should be emulated, then we can understand the essence of Bhagavad Gita, and then only we can understand that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
So, two things we are understanding, that for the devotees who have surrendered by the mercy of Krishna, he will understand the Lord. At the same time, the person who are faithless and demonic in nature can never understand the Krishna, and he will continue to glide down to the darkest region. And also it is said that even the demigods or great sages have not fully understood the manifestation, the opulences of the Lord. So in this sloka, why Krishna is referred as Keshava? Why Krishna is
Because Arjuna is asking him to kill the demon of doubt in his mind.
yeah. So first of all, Krishna is known as Keshava because of killing the Keshi demon.
Yes.
And here, why this reference is because the ignorance of Arjuna has been cleared by the Lord. Yeah. So, and it is said that neither gods or demons can understand Krishna. Some of the examples where the great demigods have bewildered and not understood about the Krishna. Some examples from the past times. Any examples you remember? Some of the examples.
Hare Krishna
Brahma
Brahma
Yes.
Vimohalila.
Yes, Brahma Vimohalila. And what other?
Indra Govardhan Leela Prabhuji, the
Yes.
Indra did rain.
Yes. Yes. So these are all some of the examples showing that even the demigods have not understood Krishna completely, right? So what we know is from Bhagavad Gita chapter 4.2, Evam Paramparam Praptam Imam Rajarshyo Vibhu. So through the disciplic succession only we can know, and 4.34, by taking the shelter of the spiritual master. Tad vidhi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshantate jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. So this is the process to know the supremacy of the Supreme Lord. We'll move to the next sloka. Chanda Mataji, you want to recite this sloka?
Yes, Prabhuji. स्वयमेवात्मना आत्मानं व्यथ त्वां पुरुषोत्तमं भूतभावना भूतेश देवदेव जगत्पते. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. This again is a very, very important, very nice sloka from Arjuna. But he says, who can read this for us? Saheli Bose Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Indeed, you alone know yourself by your own potencies, O origin of all, Lord of all beings, God of gods, O Supreme Person, Lord of the universe.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So Arjuna is telling you alone know your own potency, nobody else. Yeah. So how do we, three ways of realizing the Lord? What are the three ways? We have discussed this before.
Bhagwan, Paramatma, and Brahman.
Yes, Mataji. So Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Shloka 11. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnana advayam brahmeti paramameti bhagavan iti sabhyate. The Supreme Lord can be realized in three features, starting with Brahman, localized Paramatma, and the last stage is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And yet, many liberated person, many great sages, many great scholars do not know that Krishna is the Purushottama. That is why Arjuna is clearing their doubts through this sloka that Krishna is the Purushottama. So somebody may know Krishna is the Purushottama, but still they may not know Krishna is the Father, Supreme Father of the living entity. For that, Arjuna is saying that Bhuta Bhava, Bhuta Bhavana. And then further, Arjuna says, still somebody may know that Krishna is Purushottama and the Father of living entity, but he may not know he is the Supreme Controller. So that is, he is telling Krishna as Bhutesha. And further, it says Krishna can be Bhut controller of all the material entities, but one may not know that he is the Adi Deva. So that is why Arjuna is declaring the Lord as Deva Deva. And further, it says that Jagatpate, he is the supreme proprietor of the Lord. Thus, the truth about the absolute truth about the Lord is established in this sloka through the realization of Arjuna. Yeah. So what we understood from this sloka is Krishna is the Purushottama, supreme person, father of all living entity, supreme controller. He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the Deva Deva. He is the supreme proprietor and supreme enjoyer. As said, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasa, right? So he's the supreme enjoyer of everything. So next three slokas is just a translation. Who has not participated yet? Anybody is there who has not participated?
Yes, Prabhu, I am not ready.
I will give this chance to Taruni Mataji because in the beginning you participated.
In 10.16, Arjuna tells, please tell me in detail of your divine opulences by which you pervade all these worlds. In 10.17, he says, how should I meditate on you? In what various forms are you to be contemplated, O blessed Lord? In 10.18, tell me again in detail, O Janardhan, Krishna, of your mighty potencies and glories, for I never tire of hearing your ambrosial words.
Yes. So, though we all understood Krishna and the knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita through Chaturshloka, Arjuna is further going on to say, please tell me more. Tell me more, what is the process by which I can always remember? Yeah. And also he says that your potency and glories are such that I'm never getting tired of hearing about this. Yeah, it is not a mundane words, it is a transcendental word. So one listening to Bhagavad Gita, right from level 1 we are listening about this, we are not tired, right? We want to continue to hear. We are never tired of this. So Arjuna is asking this for all the common people like us who can always hear and knows ways and process through which we can always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. So please describe in detail the mystic power of your opulence. So I am never satiated in hearing about you is what Arjuna is telling. The advantage of hearing the Krishna's opulence. What is the advantage of again and again hearing? So we should never attend this class with the mood that this sloka I already know. Every sloka Krishna keeps revealing. Every sloka, there are so many dimensions through which we can continue to learn and fix up in Krishna consciousness. So by again and again hearing, it helps us to remembrance, increases our remembrance and always think of Krishna. Yeah, Arjuna is already satisfied. Here, Arjuna, the reasons why he want to again and again he want to hear is been mentioned here. Arjuna is already satisfied with the understanding of Krishna and has no doubt about Krishna's position. But for the sake of common people, for the sake of materialistic people and for personal absorption, for his own relishment, and to taste the nectar, he is asking to go on and on with this. Now we are getting into the last section, Shloka 19 to 42. Somebody can read this, what is on the screen? What are the Krishna's opulences?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Anybody can read.
Krishna describes the most prominent among his limitless, all-pervading opulences. Names his opulences and then explains that these opulences simply indicate a fraction of his glory, because he pervades and supports the entire universe with a mere fragment of his total potency.
Yes. So Krishna is so unlimited. Yeah, Krishna is so unlimited that our material senses are not ready. Yeah, we will not be able to absorb so much. So here Krishna is only giving the prominent out of his limitless. And it is said that just by the fragment of his potency, he is pervading the entire universe. So these are two important aspects we need to understand. So next shloka, who can go ahead? Saheli Bose Mataji, you want to recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Pranam Prabhu.
Yes.
Bhagavad-Gita 10.19. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Hanta te kathayishyami divya hi atma vibhuttaya pradhan yanta kurushreshta nashti anto vistarayasya. Hare Krishna
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Mataji.
Pranam Prabhu.
Shivakumar Prabhu, you can go ahead with the translation.
Hare Krishna Go. The blessed Lord said, yes, I will tell you of my opulences, manifestation, but only of those which are prominent. O Arjuna, for my opulence is limitless. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Krishna's opulences is limitless, but Krishna is telling, he's agreeing that he will tell, but he's also telling only those which are prominent I will tell. So why Krishna is telling only those which are prominent, he's telling? Why Krishna is giving only prominent opulences?
Because it is infinite, Prabhu. His appearances are infinite. It cannot be.
Yes. So Krishna is infinite, we are infinitesimal. Our senses are limited, right? So for that reason, Krishna is only giving what we can take and help us to fix up in Krishna consciousness. Therefore, he is agreeing to state only the principal manifestation, the pradhanyataha. So this word is important. Only a principal manifestation is giving us here. Next shloka. Neha Jindal Mataji, you want to recite the next shloka?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Aham Atma Gudakesh Sarvabhutasya Sthita Aham Adischa Madhyam Cha Bhutanam Anta Eva Cha.
Yes. So Devika Mataji, can you please read the translation?
Shall I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
I am the super soul, O Arjuna, seated in the hearts of all living entities. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Hare Krishna.
So Krishna is telling he is the super soul living within our heart, right? So even Prabhupada says Subhala Upanishad, he gives a reference that Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing as a super soul in all the manifested universe, right? From the ant to the Brahma, Krishna resides as a super soul, Paramatma within. And he is exhibiting these prominent vibhutis just to help us to rise in our conviction, our determination to surrender to the Lord. And further, Shloka 10.21 to 10.38, these are all the glories of the Lord. Whatever wonderful things we see, we should see it as the potency of the Lord. Yeah, how do we remember? Always remember Krishna. So through this shloka, there is not much explanation. It is self-explanatory. You can go through the purpose. It is just few lines. But what we try to understand, all that magnanimous, wonderful things in and around us, it is all Krishna. Yeah. So starting with Adityas, there are 12 Adityas, among which the principal Aditya is Krishna, the Vishnu. And all that illuminating things, all that among luminaries in this universe, the shining of that is coming from the effulgence of Krishna. The sun gets its effulgence by the light given by the Krishna. And then Marichi, this talks about the blowings of wind. There are 50 types of different wind, and the controlling deity of the wind is Marichi, and Krishna says, I am Marichi. Among stars, he says, I am moon. Among Vedas, I am Samaveda. Among demigods, I am the Indra. Indra being the administrator of all the demigods. So Krishna is saying that I am Indra. Among senses, I am mind. And among living force, among the living being, I am the living force. So we are all what? We are the spirit soul. Without that spirit soul, it is just a dead matter, right? So that spirit soul, the living force is Krishna. And among Rudras, it is said that among 11 Rudras, the prominent is Shiva, and Shiva is also the incarnation of the Supreme Lord, who is the in charge of mode of ignorance. And further, among priests, I am Brihaspati. Among generals, I am Skanda. Down south, Lord Subramanya is prominent. Palani, we all go. So even among the generals of the demigod, he says, I am Subramanya. And bodies of water, I am the ocean. When you see the ocean, what should come to you is, this is Krishna. So that way you can remember the Lord. Yeah. Among sages, he is Bhrigumuni. And among the sound vibration, I am Om. So all the Vedic scriptures, all the mantras starting from Om, many people with their ignorance, they say in Vedas there is no mention of Krishna, but the first Omkara itself is Krishna, is what we get to know from here. And among the sacrifices, I am the holy name. Holy name and Krishna is non-different. Kali Kale Nama Rupe Krishna Avatar. Right? And among immovables, I am the Himalayas. Sages of the demigod, I am Narada. And among animals, the churning of ocean, when it was done, two animals, as it's been said, has come. One is horse and the elephant. So among horses, I am the Uchchaishrava, and I am among the elephant, I am the Airavata. That's what Krishna is declaring. Further, among the men, who is the topmost among the men? He is the king, right? So the monarch. So I am the king, I am the representative among the men. And among the weapons, I am the Vajrayuda. In cows, I am Surabhi. So that way, among the serpents, I am Vasuki. Among snakes, I am the Ananta. And departed ancestors. So there is a planet for Pitrus, and the presiding deity is Aryama, and Krishna is saying, I am Aryama. Yeah. And dispenser of law, Yama. Yeah. And then Daitya demons. Among demons, Krishna is saying, I am Prahlada. So there are two sisters, Diti and Aditi. So among these two sisters, the son of Aditis are known as the devotees of the Lord. And among the Daityas, among the son of Ditis are Daityas. They are demons, but even among demons, there is the devotee of the Lord, that is Prahlada, and subduer. I am the time. Krishna saying, Aham kalosmi. Many of us complain that we don't have time. If you are serious and surrender, Krishna is said that Krishna will expand time for you. Yeah, you give priority to Krishna first, and all other material things what you are doing, Krishna will give you the intelligence, remembrance, and he will help you out. My own personal experience, when with my limited capacity, when I'm trying to do a task, what it takes for a week, by the mercy of the Lord, it will happen in 1 hour or 2 hours. I've experienced this myself. So that way, so when you are surrendered to Krishna, Krishna will help you in your endeavors. And further, among beasts, I am lion, among bird, I am Garuda, among purifier, I am the wind. So this way, he goes on. Among flowing rivers, he is Ganges. Among creation, beginning, middle, as well as end, everything is Krishna. Among dual word, I am the dual word, I am. So dual words are like Rama and Krishna. I am the compounded word, the Dvandva Samasa. The dual word is Krishna, is what he is telling. Among the creator Brahma, I am the Brahma. Further, all the Matajis will be very happy here. The fame, the fortune, the speech, memory, intelligence, faithfulness and patience, these are all the qualities the women are known for. And these qualities are coming from me, is what Krishna is saying. Among the poems, I am the Gayatri Mantra. Before coming into Krishna consciousness, many of us, including me, I used to recite Gayatri Mantra, but after coming into Krishna consciousness, we got to know that one should elevate oneself to the level of Brahmin Diksha. Only then we can recite. That is the potency of Gayatri Mantra. We should not be reciting everywhere and anywhere. So that is the one. And one more thing which is interesting for me is, among the cheats, I am gambling. So Krishna Bado Chatur. We can't cheat Krishna. We can cheat ourselves. We can cheat the world, but one cannot cheat Krishna, is what we understand from this. And among wise, Krishna gives the wisdom among wise. Among strength, Krishna, among strong, Krishna gives the strength. And among wise, Krishna gives the wisdom. So what do we understand from this is, everything we see, we need to see as the opulence manifestation of Krishna. So that way we can always remember Krishna. So this slide is summarize the entire thing what I said. Among demigods, the Indra, Vishnu, Marichi, Shiva, it's all Krishna. Among sages, I am the Vyasa, Narada Muni, Bruhaspati. Among demigods, yeah, the sun, moon, Meru, Himalaya, everything is coming from Krishna. Among animals, the Uchaishwarya, Airavata, everything is from Krishna. The qualities we discussed, the silence, the wisdom, morality, the fortune, fame, speech, all these are coming from Krishna. Further, Shweta Mataji, you want to recite the translation for us, 10.39 and 10.40? Aryan Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or unmoving, that can exist without me. 10.40. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. Hare Krishna.
Yes. So everything wonderful is Krishna. Everything has a cause, but Krishna has no cause. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist, both moving as well as unmoving. And what we understand further is this is just a fragmental part of my divine manifestation. It is just a small portion of limitless potency of the Lord. Shanti Shudesh Mataji, can you read that shloka for us? 10.41.
Yes, Prabhu. Yadyad vibhuti Srimad Urjitameva va tad eva avagachatvam mama tejosma sambhavam.
Thank you, Mataji. Manoshi Mitra Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji. Know that all beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations spring from but a fraction, a spark of my splendor. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. So Krishna is declaring what is important for us through this chapter is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna, be in Krishna consciousness. So how can we be? By knowing that all that beautiful, glorious, and mighty creations is just a spark of my splendor and my opulence. Krishna is telling, and last sloka for the day.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, Hari Bol.
अथवा बहुनेतेन किं ज्ञातेन तव अर्जुन विष्टाभ्यम् इदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशिनो स्थितो जगत्.
Yes. You may read the translation also, Mataji.
But what need is there, Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe.
Yes. So the Supreme Lord enters all the living entity right from as a super soul, right from the smallest ant to the Brahma, the topmost demigod. And Krishna here we need to know as the greatest of everything, Asama Urdhava, which means no one is superior, no one is above the Lord. This way, one can always understand Krishna and remember Krishna without any deviation. So, the Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan, Srila Prabhupada gives in his purport that great Acharya in disciplic succession from Krishna concludes this chapter by saying everything, both animate and inanimate, it is the potency of the Lord, right? Even to the powerful sun, power, the sun gets the power from the sun, and it again is from the partial expansion, just by the partial expansion of the Lord, fragmental expansion of the Lord, the entire universe is being maintained, and because of that, one has to surrender to the Lord and take his shelter. And Srila Baladev Vidyabhushan declares that Krishna is the worshipable Lord of all the living entities. Knowing this, what is expected is Sarvadharmam Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Moksha Swami Masuchaha. So knowing this, we all have to surrender to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So with this, we will come to end of today's chapter. Thank you for your patient listening. Hope this chapter will help all of us to rise in our conviction that our life is not for our sense enjoyment, but for the service of the Lord. And serving the Lord is only by taking the shelter of our Guru Parampara, the devotees of the Lord, and serving them, we can please the Lord. That is the purpose. Yeah. Thank you very much. Any takeaways from the chapter? Any quick questions? we can discuss.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to remember something that Aishwarya Mataji had once told us when we were doing level 1 or 2, that somebody asked that, Mataji, can I chant when I'm walking outside in a park or looking at trees? She said, you can look at anything as long as you remember that that is the representation of the Lord's energy. You can see Krishna in everything that you look at. You can chant anywhere. So I thought that that was a very wonderful way of reminding us that everything, including us, we are only manifestations of the Lord, of His energy, and we have no independent existence, and nothing else around us also has.
Thank you very much
So
for bringing this up, Mataji.
thank you,
Krishna
Mataji.
says, the taste of water is me. Yeah. When
And
we
without
realize
water,
the
we
taste of
cannot
water,
exist, na Prabhuji?
yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So when we are in the middle of the sea, we have stranded in the middle of the sea, water everywhere and a drop, not a drop of water to drink. That is when you realize the taste of water, and Krishna says the taste of water is also me. Today, Kalpana Mataji could not join, so no attendance link has been shared, I believe. Kirti Mataji, you have the link?
I have shared it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We are progressing well. 2 more chapters will conclude module 2. So continue to learn reciting sloka, memorizing sloka, and learn one, teach one. That is Krishna consciousness. Learn from one, teach one is Krishna consciousness, spreading Krishna consciousness. So we are all learning, and we should give this knowledge to as many conditioned souls as possible. Kano karo janma sartha karo paropakara. So with this message, I will end my session today. Vancha kalpatarupasya cha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrindi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.